Saturday, July 18th, 12:20 p.m. New York time. Welcome back, investors, to Winning Wall Street's Money. Already halfway through the month. This is the first month for the third quarter of the year. We're going to look at currencies year-to-date, see how they're performing. We have a FOMC meeting later this month where the Federal Reserve will meet and vote to either leave yields alone or change yields, changing them either higher or lower. That will have an impact on currencies. That will have an impact on the markets, on borrowing, IOUs. Since we're talking about the Central Bank of the United States, also called the Federal Reserve, we'll look at the currency of the U.S. dollar index, the U.S. dollar index. Just like the word says, index is comprised of several currencies, the major currencies, the ones that most nations hold in reserve, most nations and businesses use for trade. I say that because, example, North Korea and let's say Vietnam, both communist countries, but Vietnam may not want to do business accepting North Korea currency. They might require North Korea to pay in U.S. dollars. Again, I said countries have reserved U.S. dollar currencies and other currencies reserved. Another example is you might have Venezuela buying a product from Canada, and Canada may not accept the Venezuela currency. Canada might want Venezuela to pay U.S. dollars. A lot of businesses worldwide are done in U.S. dollars, as well as euros and yen. So this is a 20-year chart of history, and each candle is a month. Big trading range. The bottom left, the low, all the way back to 2009. And the top right, the high of 2022. Zooming in, again, from the high of 2022, you can see we made lower highs. 2025, lower high. Let me zoom in some more. And then 2026. So looking at that high of 2025, here was a sell-off. That was last year. Sell-off, a consolidation. I'm going to remove this and I'll put it back on. Well, then this consolidation, the high. Last month, we broke above the high and closed above the high. The current month is not done yet. It's an inside candle. Hasn't even taken out the high or low. Look how small the trading range is for the current month, July. Very small trading range compared to last month, big trading range and a breakout, which last month made that new high of the year. So I expect this candle made last month to be retraced partly. Doing Fibonacci just on the body, we've done a retracement to 0.382. If it doesn't go lower, it's leaning more bullish bias. It means more likely that will break above the high of last month. Breaking above the high of last month, well, we have an imbalance area here, this gray area. That's acting like a black hole. Might suck it in. Again, potential trade idea. Break above the high of last month. And then I'll use my lower time frames to look for that entry signal to get tagged in. And then my target would be to the upside. That trade idea, well, that's further detailed on my Patreon level for the higher level members that are part of the WhatsApp. Now, again, the candle's not done for the month yet. So that candle could turn red and sell out off. But looking here at the weekly chart, because we just finished the week, which is interesting. Past few weeks, or this past week, We broke below that inside candle and above it. Again, the overall trends are lower highs, lower lows. Yep. The current weekly trend of the US dollar is down. Well, those charting patterns. See this big green candle? That's a pole. And then that other green candle, continuation with the pole. It's doing a flag pattern. It looks like it's doing a bullish flag pattern. We have a midpoint here, hasn't been tested yet. So potential pullback in here, potential bullish trade idea. Yep. And if you notice that big green candle, big body, broke above all this consolidation. Broke above it, closed above it, which is bullish. Nice. And like I said, this month, we have the FOMC meeting with the Federal Reserve. But looking here on the weekly also, if you notice, yep, big wicks on the top, big wicks on the bottom, buyers coming in here, because this happened to be in a balance area too. And it went right there, big wick, buyer stepped in, yep. So it doesn't necessarily mean we're even going to pull back all the way in here. Nope. We could have the flag, have a breakout next week. So again, potential trade idea on the break of this high, this candle. For now, we're here on the daily chart of the US dollar. Friday, look at that little green candle, little tiny body, almost like a doji. Did break above that inside candle, but closed back inside that body. The green candle did break that high of Thursday, which was that yellow candle. But also Friday, we closed back inside the range of that other candle. So we have a consolidation here, breakdown. That red candle broke below and closed below, which was a swing point. We often know when you have swing points broken, you might do a consolidation and then a potential reversal back to the upside. So again, currently consolidation, breakdown, staircase pattern, lower low. Some key levels on the downside. That's just one currency index. But I want to dissect this further by looking at the major currencies inside the US dollar. Let's go look at those now. These major currencies, I'm going to look at one time frame. That would be the 5-year history, and each candle a week. Me, I did a deep analyze of each, just like I did of the US dollar, plus included more time zones to have better insight. But that's not here to be shown. Some of us work for our data. So again, that personal information's for my higher level Patreon members. But looking here at the 5-year chart, the weekly of the euro, which is the first largest currency in the US dollar index, it's largely weighted average. The largest weighted average, yep. See right here, the low of the year, the high of the year, the yellow horizontal line. Big consolidation, bearish pin bar. We broke below that, forming a consolidation for the past several weeks. Really small trading ranges, building energy for some breakout. That breakout will be the new trend if it breaks out in strength. So here was the trigger, bearish trigger. Big red body engulf that green candle. Bearish engulfing. We had multiple tests of that red zone, rejection, rejection, rejection. Maybe forming the H pattern or bearish flag pattern for continuation low. Yep. So I already have my alert set up for price action to take bearish shorts, which put more energy, bullish dollar. Let's go look at the second largest currency in the US dollar, the Japanese yen. 5 years. Look at this. Making new lows for the 5 years. This year, new lows. So there we go. Look at that yellow horizontal line. Lows of the year. And last week formed solid body, almost solid body, inside candle. Buyers are stepping in there, but on weakness. There's no conviction to the upside still. Looks like, if anything, more of a potential retracement for another breakdown. Lots of problems. If you follow the Japanese economics, the prime minister and the government as a whole put some policy out the past few days, something related to one of their investment funds for the government to try to stabilize their currency, to try to lure investors. We'll see how that works out over time. I don't have confidence in it. I think there's more that needs to be done. British pound, third largest currency in the US dollar. Big difference than the Japanese yen. Look at that. Here's the low for the past 5 years. It's trending up. Big difference than the euro also. Again, here's the yen, past 5 years. Here's the euro, just a big consolidation. The British pound has been climbing back up. So ask yourself, since the United Kingdom separated from the EU, remember, during when United Kingdom was part of the EU, it did keep their currency independent. And their currency's been going higher the past few years. But one of the big issues with the UK is they have a prime minister that resigned. Same political party of the prior prime minister that resigned. So now they need to get a new prime minister. The parties have not changed. Just the past prime ministers, same political party that are running the government, are resigning before their terms are up. AK, let's call it what it is. They quit. Not due to injuries that I'm aware of, physically or mental, but just quit. We have the politicians like that in the United States too. So, being the third largest currency in the US dollar, I say large currency, it's the, if you notice too, the euro and the pound, both the European side and the yen, the Asian side. Well, I'm going to break that down further after this, but looking here, the low of the year, right there, dodgy candle. After that big red candle, see that big red candle? Big panic selling, followed by another candle, lower high, lower low, dodgy candle, which took out that swing low. I told you all, when we have swing lows get broken, sometimes we reversed. And that dodgy candle means potential reversal signal. And we had a reverse. Nice. We also broke and closed above this candle pattern, forming a big wick up here for the week. Okay, so we get a retracement. That's nice. If we get a retracement, I'm looking for a retracement to this key level. Potential bullish trade out there. Yep. So looking for that pullback here. That's on this weekly, but I also have other time zones for other locations. And also, this is a potential failure too. We could have a continuation to the upside before we pull back, go up here and reject. Big difference again than what the Japanese yen is doing. Australian dollar. Back over Asia Pacific, Australian dollar is heavily weighted towards commodities. If you know much about commodities and follow metals, wow, gold and silver. Silver made a new low this past week. Silver made a new low for the year. Gold is very close to the low of the years. Natural gas, huge sell-off. Again, Australia, one of their big sources of wealth, let's say, are commodities. So when commodities are strong, that benefits their currency. Commodities are trending down. The commodities of metals and energy, the ones I mentioned, just like their currencies going down. So if we have a turnaround on gold or silver, if gold and silver start going up, we want to expect this currency to go higher. Here's the low for the year. Here's the high for the year. You have opportunities again. You could trade the currency. You could trade the metals. They are independent, different assets, but there's some correlations to look at one. One might be an early signal of what's going. Yep, big difference. Australian dollar is trending back up. It's a retracement, where silver made it low for the year. Hear that word, retracement. The overall trend is down, and we're in retracement mode. Might be forming a bearish flag pattern. I'd also recommend you look at the New Zealand dollar. It's another heavily commodity-based country. Here's Canadian dollar, another heavily weighted commodity country. Fossil fuels, metals, lumber. Yep, Canadian dollar. Look at the highs of the past, 2022. Let's fix this. There's the high. Since then, declining. Lows of the year, consolidation. After we took out the swing low, remember that we took out that swing low? Consolidation, and we have a strong move up. Nice. I like that strong bullish candle. Again, might be an early sign of commodities getting ready to turn around. So one could look to trade bullish Canadian dollar. If you have that conviction, again, the overall trend is down. We're in retracement mode. There's key levels. I also want to go back here. So here's the British pound on the futures market. It also has a stock ETF. Here's the stock ETF, Foxtrot, X-Ray, Bravo. The liquidity on the options are terrible. Yep, the liquidity on the options on this stock ETF and the liquidity on the futures is terrible. So one might want to just stick with the futures trading. Or if you want, you might be just doing the equity. So again, looking here at the Canadian dollar. Let's go next. The Swiss franc. Look at this bullish pattern. Coming off the lows of the year. Dodgy candle. Low of the year. Took out that swing point. Dodgy candle means potential reversal, potential halfway point. I'll be watching this closely. Because if we get a reversal, yep, we could do 100% retracement. Possibly. Or if we get a reversal, we might have a retracement that goes up somewhere and fills and then goes lower. Mexican peso, neighbors to the south. Here's the low of the year. Trend reversed, ran up this year. Big consolidation from the low. Strong reversal. Big flag pull. Sloppy flag pattern. Yep, showing rejection up here. So I might see further on the downside. Again, a lot of these countries are impacted by tariffs. The tariff war, aka also another word to throw in there is currency war. The Chinese yuan, again, when this is trending down, this is weaker dollar, stronger yuan. Again, look at the high, 2025. U.S. executive branch puts tariffs on China, and the U.S. dollar weakens, Chinese yuan strengthens. Chinese yuan strengthens, it costs more to import their products. Currency war, tariff war. The cost gets passed on to the consumer. Yep, here's the high this year. More tariffs put on. And Chinese yuan gains strength against the US dollar. So the current trend is down. Look, we had the consolidation here, which is a minor retracement filled and panic selling, continue going lower, consolidation, minor retracement. These two red candles, small little bodies, dodgy candles, interesting. And we'll finish this off by the crypto called Bitcoin. The bottom left, that low, the markup in price, the high of last year has not even retested the high of last year. Nope. Here's the high this year, 2026. And we're near the lows of the year. It's in a markdown phase. Has retracements, rejection, panic selling, retracement, panic selling. If you know how to trade short, aka bearish, you can make more money. Look at this on the panic selling. So we had this big impulse move down here, big panic selling. We had a bearish stop hunt, rejection. We haven't even done a retracement to the top of that yet, but we're trending up. So one could be looking for somewhere in this sweet area, in this candle, on a test in here somewhere, we don't know until it occurs, that we're going to have a rejection for a lower low. Yep. Thank you as always, spending just a little time with me. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching.